I just use that online advertising. You know, like I was doing Google pay-per-click, so I was just building funnels, putting people through an automated system where they get the information without me even kind of presenting anything. The days of the old school like Amway stuff that people have in their mind when they hear of it, that's like so done with. Hey there, everyone. My name is Quinton Carlin. I'm from Vancouver, BC. Currently over here, I'll give you a little view of where I live in Asia. Sorry, I'm just holding my cell phone here. As I explained, my iMac behind me, trackpad battery died, so I can't actually answer it on my iMac. So I'm holding my phone here, in case you're wondering why I'm doing it this way. I've been traveling. I've been to about 35 countries. Did a TEDx talk about kind of traveling and culture. Currently a university professor and do a number of online kind of marketing affiliate stuff as well. So that's kind of me in a nutshell. Also a podcast host. So I've got a podcast called Self-Developed Life. It's more of a personal and professional development show about, interviewing top performers.
Cool. So how did you get where you're at now? Because obviously going to Asia and being a professor is a little bit different.
Yeah. I mean, I've always loved traveling. Like I did when I was 19, I did a 1-year working holiday visa in Australia, and I just fell in love with traveling. And, you know, like I said, it's been about 35 countries later, and I'm going to Bali here in about 10 days. So I'd just like to keep moving.
And there you go.
Yeah. And
So
to answer your question about the university professor opportunity, when I was in Vancouver, I met a friend of mine was trying to open an international school over in Asia, and was like, you know, at the time I was working for the Vancouver School Board, and I was like, oh, he's like, here's a plane ticket, here's a contract, come try it out for 6 months, and that was about 6 years ago. So I've really enjoyed the lifestyle here and just being on this side of the world. It's pretty fun.
yeah, so the first time around, you're telling me about your interesting work schedule. What's the work schedule over there look like?
Well, that's a big reason why I'm still here 7 years later. Well, as I mentioned, I'm at a university, so the semester is about 3 months, 3.5 months. And while I'm working, I work about 14 hours a week, 4 days a week. So I have a 3-day weekend every weekend, and it's about 14 hours a week. So it gives me a lot of other time to kind of do other projects, like I mentioned before, the podcast, the affiliate marketing stuff, coaching people. So it's been really a good lifestyle balance. And during the winter, I have 2 months in the winter paid vacation, and summer 2 months paid vacation. So it's a pretty tough opportunity to leave, that's for sure.
Yeah. Now, with the Asian school system, is it as crazy as Americans think it is, where
Yeah, you know
everyone's
what?
kind of like robotic with education?
To be honest, it really is, unfortunately. Japan and Korea have the two highest suicide rates, which is just devastating.
Oh
But
wow.
because the pressure is so high here, you know, like I feel really kind of bad for children growing up in this, because they basically they have schools after schools here. So a lot of students that are like this starts in like elementary school. So you'll have grade ones that are doing 12-hour days. They go to the regular school, then after school, they'll go to like a math academy, an English academy, a science academy, and then like piano. So they'll be doing 4 or 5 hours of school after school, and then they go home and then they do their homework. So it's no joke here, man. It's lots of competition, lots of pressure.
Do they get to graduate earlier then and enter employment earlier, or
No,
the philosophy on the benefit? Just to keep them busy
well,
and out of trouble, or
I think it's just like the expectation, you know, like to get the highest grades, be the best
mm,
student, make your family proud, all that kind of stuff, right? Um, but no, they graduate at the same time, and then they go to university, and then they work even harder. But actually, you know, like I think university is actually easier. A lot of students tell me it's easier than their high school. Like high school here is like basically they have a test where if they don't pass the test, their life is pretty much ruined as far as they think. They think that, like, you know, whatever your score is on this test determines what university you get into, which
mm.
depends on what kind of job you can get. So it all comes down to like this high school test. It's really Yeah, really unfortunate.
So I take it they don't have the entrepreneurship opportunities and everything over there.
No, I just read an article the other day that said like having startups here. This is like one of the most difficult countries to do startups in because you've got your big brands, you've got like Samsung, LG, and then they pretty much kind of dominate the whole tech
Hmm.
industry. And there's not a whole lot of startups as far as what this article said that I recently read.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, definitely interesting.
yeah, it is.
And so you got to play some professional ball during your travels. Why don't you illuminate
Yeah,
on that a
yeah,
little bit? Because that was a fun
yeah.
topic.
Yeah, so I was in the Philippines 2 years ago now, and I was just there for a surf trip for like a month, and then I went to like the Catholic Church, and there was like this big deal because the mayor of this island was there that day. I was the only foreigner white guy in there, and he came up to me, he's like, "Wow, you're really tall. Like I'm 6'7". And he's like, "Do you play basketball?" I'm like, "Yeah, I do." I played college back home, and then he's like, "Oh, do you want to come, practice with my guys?" I'm like, "Sure." He's like, "I own like the professional basketball team for this island." I was like, "Oh, cool." So I went down and I played, and he's like, "Actually, you're like pretty good." He's like, "Do you want to play?" He's like, "How long are you here for?" I'm like, "I'm here for a month." He's like, "Do you want to be on the roster and travel with the team and do all this stuff while you're here?" And I'm like, "That play professional basketball in the Philippines?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's it's like a bucket list dream come true." So I ended up doing that for a month, and those guys are fast, man. They're small, but they're just like up and down, and it's a different game over there.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. Uh, so what kind of projects are you looking to get into here in the future?
Well, the last time we talked about blockchain, so I have a
Yep.
book out in the course about blockchain and investing in crypto. So I've got that. That's at uh, project I just finished a few months ago, and the market's actually looking at it's coming back up, which is great. So that, and I'm getting involved now in the CBD, as we spoke about last time, with a
Yep.
company called HempWorks. Really looking at just the new wave of alternative medicine to help people heal, and also have a business opportunity attached to that. So working with the biggest team in the company for that and enjoying it. So that's kind of what I have on the horizon.
Now, Hemworks is a network marketing company,
Yeah,
and both of us have had experiences within that realm of business. You
right.
want to just kind of share your experiences a little bit with it and why you're revisiting the industry?
Yeah, sure, man. Like I was involved with the company back in like 2007 that was working with the movie The Secret, The Law of Attraction. So
Mm.
we were marketing like really high end coaching and personal development conferences, programs, with like a lot of the speakers from that movie. And it was amazing because, as you know, sales, marketing, leadership comes down to like a lot of just personal development. So I really loved that organization, and I did that for about 3 years and did well in it. And then got out of that, came to Asia, and I've been kind of just looking for the last while. Like I really want to kind of get back into something that offers me leveraged income, residual income, and just something that I can kind of start building again. And I get pitched things all the time. You know, a lot of my friends are in different companies, and I'm always like, no, 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 no. But when HempWorks came along, I just looked at the whole revolution, kind of like how I got into Bitcoin and crypto early. I kind of see that here, where this is like a brand new market that is just getting a lot of media attention. And I use it, the products for my parents. Both my parents have some health challenges with like arthritis and some really bad joint issues. So I'm like, you know what? Let me get this product for my parents and just see what happens. So that's kind of what made me uh, take a serious look at it. And then I looked at the business side of it. That my friend, he's like one of the number one earners in it, and he's like, "Look, man, we'll just stack people on your team." And I was like, well, you can't ask for more than that. So that's kind of what was the deciding factor.
Now, stay on the topic for a little bit. How do you feel like network marketing's changed from 2007? Because there's a lot of stigmas out with the industry. I'm a big believer in the industry, even though I don't participate actively anymore. And we've
Right.
had actually a few guests who have all been active participants at one point or still are. So, how do you think it shifted a little bit with tech and what we have
That,
available?
that's a really good question. Like for me, I've never been like the the kind of friends and family build a list of people I
Right.
just use that online advertising. Like I was doing Google pay per click, so I was just building funnels putting people through an automated system where they get the information without me even kind of presenting anything. So I kind of look at it from like the days of the old school like Amway stuff that people have in their mind when they hear of it. That's like so done with. Like that's not even this this decade. You know, we were doing that. You know, probably 20 years ago. But now with the internet, with social media and stuff, like it's really, you know, it just widens the whole opportunity to reach people in any country at any time with any offer. So I would say that with technology, it just makes it a whole wide playing field. And with tools like Instagram, Facebook, you can really build an organization without ever approaching anybody in person or through your warm market. So I think that's the main way it's really kind of developed.
Means you don't have to stalk people in the grocery store and ask them about sour cream anymore?
No, man. No, never have, never will. And plus, the reason why I went with hemp work, it's just such a cool product, you know? Like, it's kind of like being a legal drug dealer, you know, that actually, like, I don't drink, you know, like I've been 2 years sober. Like I'll have like a beer or a glass of wine every now and then, but I haven't been drunk in 2 years, and
Wow.
I don't even smoke weed or anything. But I'm just really into natural health and wellness, and just like, and just staying optimized. And I think that that's what these products do.
No, I like it. Now, one thing I want to touch on that we didn't talk about last time, was to at 19 just start traveling and end up in a completely different continent. What kind of got you moving on the bug of doing what you want because you want to do it and then just figuring it out along the way? Like, was it your parents always encouraged you to be your own person? Was it just a decision you made?
That's a really good question, man. I think growing up in Canada, you know, like I always hated winter, and I always like loved the beach, and I was just like infatuated with surfing. So I always felt that I should have been born in a country like Australia or a place like California. So when I got to the age to actually go and do that, and I just did it, and my parents were very supportive. My mom's a big traveler. She traveled to Europe when she was like, you know, around the same age as me in her 20s. And I just had this like fascination of the world. Like, you know, like I grew up reading books like Tintin Adventures, you know, and just like wanted to explore the world. And yeah, just said, well, why not? Basically.
Now, with traveling that much, was there ever times when you thought you're just gonna have to pack it up and head home, or were there times where you just had to pack it up and head home and start over, or were you always able to just kind of carve your own way?
That's a good, yeah, man. Like I had tons of crazy situations. Like I ended up in like a Moroccan jail. I was like locked in I was locked in a Shanghai bar with these Chinese gangsters, like in downtown Shanghai. Like I was stranded in the middle of the outback when my car broke down. Like, yeah, man, I've had some serious, you know, heavy situations. Yeah, for sure. Like it's been some situations where I'm like, what am I doing? But you come through the other end, and it just gives you more confidence and the ability to overcome these situations. And my love is like about all these crazy adventures, and yeah, it's a lot to share.
Another time when we have more time, because I'm definitely
Yeah.
gonna want to hear about the Moroccan jail. So we'll save that for another date, though.
Yeah. That's don't go to Morocco, folks. Don't go to Morocco.
Oh, not at all, huh?
Yeah, I wouldn't. I'd never go back.
No, it sounds like you're living almost, most people's dream. Low work week, beautiful scenery, kind of a celebrity being able to play professional ball in another continent. But how often do you get home, and how's that kind of feel, work, and look for you?
Right. So what I do, I go back every summer. So I have a month, like basically my winter trip, like to Bali or Philippines. I do that in the winter, and then in the summer I have like a solid month at home with my family and stuff like that. So, which is like, you know, when I think about it and I talk to my other friends, like that's a lot more time than they even spend with their, you know, if they're living in a different city, they probably see their parents only maybe for like a week or two during during Christmas. So like even though I'm far away, I'm still like very connected. I talk with my family about an hour a week every Saturday. So we're very tight, very close, and Yeah, there are challenges with it, absolutely. I wish that teleportation was a real thing to be back in an instant, because these 20-hour flights back and forth are pretty heavy. But yeah, I mean, it kind of comes with the territory, I guess.
Yeah, I can only imagine being 6'7", being in an airplane for 20 hours.
Yeah, man, it's not fun. It's not fun. I always get I actually did a podcast. I think it was about episode 20 on my channel that talks about how you can get emergency exit row every time for free. I've mastered this. I'll tell you here, actually. Be the last person to board the plane, and then when you're walking down the aisle, you can see which emergency exit row is if there's nobody sitting, and then you just go and you sit in it. That's simple.
Hmm.
Yeah, works every time. Just be the last person to get on, because no one's coming in after you, and then you just scope out the best legroom situation, and you just go and sit in that seat.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to use that.
Yeah, it's a lifesaver, man. It's a lifesaver.
Where's your favorite place you've traveled to so far?
I'd say Bali. Like, Bali
Really?
is just, for me, I'm a surfer.
Mm.
Like, I was in Australia for a month again last winter. But for someone that just wants to go and have like a really chilled out, break for a week, 2 weeks, a month, 6 months, whatever, I think Bali is like the spot to be. I just love it.
What was the most surprising place you visited that you enjoyed?
Jerusalem.
Really?
Jerusalem was amazing. Yeah. Jerusalem. It doesn't really seem like it's a place that still exists. You hear about Jerusalem and you think it's a fictitious place from the Bible that was like ancient, around years ago. And then you go there and you're just like, this is like a happening place. And so Jerusalem was probably the most meaningful trip I've ever been on, because it's where everything started. Like, I'm Catholic, but I'm also Jewish. I just found out recently because my mother's family were doing the 23andMe DNA heritage stuff. So
Yep.
didn't really know about my roots that much, and so just having that background, and as well as just going to like the Holy Land and seeing all these stories you hear about growing up as a kid, to see where they happened was pretty amazing.
What's the most overrated place you've been?
Egypt.
Really?
Yeah, Egypt. Yeah. The pyramids are like right here, and then you have like Pizza Hut, KFC like right next to it, because Cairo expanded so much. So I thought that I would like take a train or a bus or something, get off
Or a
at the
camel?
edge of the town, and then get onto a camel, then ride a camel in the desert. You'd see the pyramids like in the distance. No, man, like the bus drops you off like right at the base of the pyramids. Like, it's really spoiler alert for those of you out there.
Hey, it saves some time then.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Now, so you've already seen pretty much everything you want to see. You get to go wherever you want to go. What's kind of like next? Like, what
Well,
ambitions are left?
yeah, that's a good question. That's kind of what I'm struggling with. Like, I'm really not that. My bucket list is pretty much checked. But what is next is one thing I'm working on is something to do with helping couples navigate separations in a health. So if you look at the world, over 50% of couples get divorced, separated, go through, and lawyers are basically like the worst option, but right now they're the only option.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm actually working on a platform to really help people empower their parental rights, basically.
Mm.
So I'm setting up something through blockchain to be able to do peer-to-peer contract. So that's kind of my main kind of life mission that I'm going to dedicate long-term vision towards, because it's a mess out there, man. It's a mess. People are getting screwed over hardcore.
Yeah, and I grew up in a home that was divorced and remarried, and then some of the parents divorced again. So I definitely know what that looks like and how the impact can be.
Oh, it's an epidemic that no one's really addressing or talking about. And if you just look at the results of depression, addiction, suicide. Like it's it's devastating. It's the most traumatic thing for anyone to ever go through. You know, that and the loss of a family member, like death. It's either death and divorce are the two biggest things
The
to
big
experience.
D's.
The two D's, man. The two D's. Yeah,
See,
yeah.
there's a reason why
You
YouTube
know,
deleted the video. We didn't get this first time.
yeah, I guess so. Yeah, this is deepened. You know, there's a guy I just interviewed on my podcast. I'm going to probably be releasing in about a week or so. His view has about his video has about 2 million views of how he just totally went into a courtroom and just called out the whole scam of family. Super powerful. So,
Hmm.
yeah, I had a really interesting conversation with him about just how corrupt the whole family court system is, man. It's time to get it exposed.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely going to look forward to following that project and seeing how that
Yeah,
grows and
yeah,
possibly working together on it somehow.
yeah. Thank you, man. And yeah, no, it's something that I had a meeting with a lawyer back this summer when I was kind of going over the outline for it. And he's like, man, I wish I thought of this. He's like, this is so necessary, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you taking the time again. Where can people
Yeah.
connect with you?
Probably through my Instagram, just Quinton Carlin, and check out my podcast and YouTube channel, Quinton Carlin on YouTube, and then the podcast is called Self Developed. There might be a link under here to make it easier. I'll send you. And yeah, if you're looking for CBD oil, hit me up.
No, absolutely. I'll definitely make sure I put all the links in the description and show notes when we get the podcast published too, so that way everybody can find all your stuff easily.
Awesome, man. I appreciate it, man. Well, great to connect again. It's always a pleasure, and all the best.
All right, man. Take care.
Yeah.